Namaste everyone. I'm Preeti Srinivasan and I'm so happy to be here with all of you today. Let's imagine a world in which there is complete social isolation, where I cannot join any school or college, and even God doesn't want me. The temples don't accept me for who I am. Hey, wait a minute. Isn't this what we are going through every day now? This quarantine period has been an extremely difficult one in our history, and nobody could have imagined it. But it's surely temporary. The constraints, the constriction, the feeling that we are cooped up and imprisoned in our own spaces, as if we have to put our lives on hold. We all feel it, right? But for some of us, this is completely permanent. It is not for a few months, but for our entire lifetimes. And the reason for it is not some invisible virus, but a much more complex phenomenon called stigma. What is stigma, you may ask? Stigma may be defined in many ways, but for me, it's very simple. The definition is that when you are treated like the other, when you're treated like you don't belong, you're not popular, you're not accepted. The three parts to stigma are rejection, exclusion, and dependence. We see this every day in school. We see children being rejected, bullied just because they are too fat or too skinny or too tall. The reasons are endless. We don't need any reasons. And as we grow up to college and the workplace, we all find people who are unpopular, who are discarded, who are considered the fringe and not accepted amongst anyone. So, what can you do to be the change? Please introspect. Please think about all the times when we have seen stigma happening and we have quietly walked away. Can you be the change? For a change, can you go and sit next to the person who's unpopular? Can you be friendly with them? Can you sit and treat them as an equal human being, just like you are? That will make a whole world of difference to them. Can you make them part of your group? Can you invite them to your next birthday party? All this simple, small things we can do to be the change. Are we going to try to remove the red? We can easily remove the red. All we need to do is to remove rejection by accepting people as they are, to remove exclusion by giving them empathy and including them into mainstream society. And when they become dependent, we can enable them, empower them by providing them equal opportunities. All we ask is a level playing field, whether it is education, employment, jobs, or even relationships. Why should we be discarded and set aside? This is stigma. And when the other portion about stigma is that it has a dangerous side to it. Stigma throughout society has been often uh, enforced by violence. Violence is used to control people from marginalized segments of society. The latest case scenario is something that shook our world very recently, the case of Mr. George Floyd and the brutality with which his death came about. But unfortunately, this kind of scenario has happened throughout history. This is the cause of World War II. We all know that thousands of Jews were murdered, brutally killed by the Nazi regime. But what we did not know is that before that, as a forerunner, as practice, they also killed thousands of people with disabilities and thousands of members of other marginalized segments of society, like persons from the LGBT community. This small group of powerful people decided that they were superior and that they wanted to clear out the impurities in our genes and create a supreme race. So the impure ones were discarded and exterminated. This is the power of stigma, but we can get rid of it. We can do that by treating others with empathy. We can make friends with them, and when we make friends with them, we will see that hey, we are not so different. We may have impairments. Impairments can happen to anyone at any time. They can be from birth or they can be through an accident. Many of us, I feel all of us are impaired. We come into the world with impairments. We are absolutely helpless, and it takes us 3 to 4 years to even learn bowel and bladder control. And as we age, again we go back to being impaired. We are flawed beings by nature. For example, let me tell you, if you wear a pair of glasses, why do you wear a pair of glasses? Because you have an impairment. Your impairment is imperfect vision. You don't have perfect vision. So the accommodation required is basically a pair of glasses. It's that simple. If you have an impairment, all you need is a certain level of accommodation. It may be more or less, but it is there. All it takes is that bit of accommodation. So, however, when disability happens, it is that you are labeled. Imagine if for wearing glasses, first of all, you're not allowed to wear glasses, you're not given the permission and the prescription. Then, if you go out with the pair of glasses, you're beaten up and harassed and assaulted, and you're not allowed to join schools or colleges or work. This would be the systematic disablement of a person with an impairment. This is what we need to guard against. We can remove these impairments by giving people a level playing field. That's all we need. So I had have had a very interesting and adventurous life. I was a kid that did everything well, and I excelled in sports and academics, and everything I touched was a success. But then at the age of 18, I suffered a sudden accident that caused me to break my neck, and I suffered a spinal cord injury that left me paralyzed below the neck. Suddenly, I didn't know how to live. I was shattered. I lost my sense of identity because everything I thought I was taken away from me. I felt invisible. My parents would be standing next to me, and people would come and ask them, is it has it been like this since birth, or is it just something that happened recently? Is it a boy or a girl? Can it talk? As if I was not even there. I was shattered by these questions. When we tried to join college, I was told there are no lifts, no ramps, don't join. Why do people like you even try to come to college? But I kept fighting. I kept fighting, and I completed my bachelor's degree and my master's. And then I had to write the NET examination. The National Eligibility Test is a very competitive exam. And when I registered, they asked me, and I told them that I'm a wheelchair user, and all the details were provided. And yet, the the exam hall was in the first floor. I had to be carried up so many staircases. I mean, why is there need for such stigma? Why can't they even accommodate to this level? But I kept going. And today, I am a PhD scholar at IIT Madras, the Indian Institute of Technology, which is considered one of the best institutions in the world. I'm perhaps the only woman ever with a 90% disability to gain admission into IIT's PhD program. Yes, life can change if we keep fighting. The other thing I've done is I started Soul Free, which is a public charitable trust that has been working for the last 7 years to improve the quality of life of persons living with spinal cord injury in India, especially women. Spinal cord injury can happen to anyone at any time, and it has no cure anywhere in the world. In India, We don't even become statistics because no data is available about how many accidents happen in a year, and there is no support system in the form of rehabilitation, providing better opportunities in education and sports and entrepreneurship and so many things. They are left helpless, and many of them pass away in the first year after the accident. The reason I started Soul Free was because two girls I personally knew were forced to commit suicide by their own families. They were told, "You are a shame and a burden on us. You don't deserve to live. You are a curse. Because you are there, everybody is ostracizing us." So they drank the poison that was left next to them and died. I could not keep quiet, and this is the reason I started Soul Free. Imagine, against all these odds, I have created a life that is productive. Because of the work done through Soul Free, more than 1,000 families live a better life today. Am I really, like the Nazis said, am I really life unworthy of life? Not at all. Am I not your equal? So, what can you do to be the change? All you need to do is treat me like you treat any other person. Come sit in front of me. Don't stand over me, but make eye contact. Be my friend. Get to know me. Can I come to your house? Is your building wheelchair accessible? Can you ask the administration to make that happen? All it requires is a lift or a ramp and nothing much, no major expenditure. If you are in college, ask if there are any disabled students in the college, and if not, why not? 1 out of 4 people has a disability, but only 10% of women with disability even get access to education. Why should it be this way? Can we be the change? Can I come to your restaurant, your favorite restaurant? Will you take me to your favorite restaurant? I don't know. Is there a ramp there? If there is a menu card, can we have the other side as a braille card where they can read the menu as well? Imagine you go to a country or a place where you don't speak the language. So you are linguistically challenged. But what happens there is that all you need is a translator, and then you're back to normal again. The playing field has been leveled. So with people who have auditory problems, they need closed captioning. Such simple things, such simple accommodations. Impairment can be removed by accommodation, but disablement is systematically done by every one of us in our society. So we need to be the change. We need to create the awareness. We need to accommodate, and we need to ensure that everybody has an equal opportunity to fulfill their highest potential. Can we do that? Can you imagine having a relationship with me? Can you love me? Any person with disability, can you imagine having a relationship with them? If not, why not? Think about it. Trust me, this lockdown will ease. It will go away in no time. But after the fear is gone, after the threat is gone, after everything becomes so-called normal again, will you still remember that there are thousands of people living under permanent lockdown? Will you join me in being the change and create a more inclusive, accepting, and tolerant society where everybody, regardless of their skin color, regardless of any amount of differences they may have in their ability or in their looks or in their body, there is so much body shaming going around. It can stop, right? So join me. Let's change the world by removing the red. Let's remove the red with acceptance, love, and inclusion and change the world. Thank you so much.